Beautiful morning, enjoying breakfast with the family.
Con la pizza me llevo número.
This is the Sacred Valley of Yuncay. This is how it used to look back in 1970, before there was a huge earthquake that caused a humongous avalanche of snow and ice and rock, and it buried thousands of people. $67,000 deaths, 180,000 injured. A whole city on the ground. We're gonna check it out. That's the mountain where the landslide originated. The earthquake was like a 6.7, and it was felt miles away from here. Some of the survivors, which they're not many, have come back, and they have placed crosses on the ground where they think that their homes used to be, or where the family used to live. So we're literally walking over the old town, the town that was buried due to the avalanche that came from there. So people have returned here, and they have placed crosses where they calculate, or they believe, that their home once stood. These are the remains of a bus that was transporting people, and it was parked in the town. It's one of the few items that was actually made it to the surface after the avalanche. Everything else has been buried, and it has not been dug out. Another piece of vehicle sticking from the ground. They said that all around here there's different things. There's that stick out from the ground from erosion after the years that are just coming out. Like this piece of chimney, because there's a house under here. This was where the old plaza once stood. And they call it Plaza de Armas. You notice that every town in Peru, they all have a Plaza de Armas. Almost like a Armory Square or Arms Plaza. It's just a name, but it's pretty much just a center of town. The plaza center of town, usually with a fountain in the middle, where everybody comes and gathers and spends an afternoon. These aren't the remains of the church, of the local church. It was called Santo Domingo de Guzman. And this was all that was left above ground. So beautiful here. This is where the white mountains, with the white snowy mountains, meet the dark mountains. One of the things I like about Peru is how diverse is their landscape. Absolutely incredible. So this was the town. This was the whole town. We're walking over people's homes, their businesses, streets. It's everything. I don't know how many meters below, but so many people were buried over here. And the only reason why there were some survivors is because over there is the cemetery. And people were visiting their families. That day was a day to visit the death and, bring them flowers and, praise honor to the loved ones that have already passed. So they were all up on that mountain over there, and they just saw how the avalanche buried their town and their people. It must have been an unbelievable scenery. And it was broad daylight. It was like around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the cemetery that people were at, where the survivors were able to see their town being buried. It's up on a hill. So that's the reason that we're fortunate enough to not perish in the disaster.